Hi, and welcome back to Network Security Lab Series Lab 9, Intrusion Detection using Snort walkthrough. We're going over Lesson 1, Configuring the Windows 2008 Firewall. One of the important features of a firewall is that they allow external users on the WAN, wide area network, to access resources on a company's internal network. In this scenario, we will set the redirection from the Windows 2008 Firewall to the Windows internal server. Lesson 1.1, Publishing Internal Resources to the Windows 2008 Internal Server. First, we're going to click on the Windows 2008 Firewall icon on the topology, which is here in the middle of the topology. Click PC, then Send, Control-Alt-Delete. And for us, that'll actually be up here on the top of the drop-down. We're going to select the Send, Control-Alt-Delete. Let's try that again. Then log in as administrator and type in firewall as the password. And press enter. When it's done logging in, you're going to double click the routing and remote access shortcut located on the desktop, which is over to the left. Then you're going to right click on the FW local and select disable routing and remote access. So that's over here, third selection from the top. Right click, disable routing and remote access. You should get a warning message that appears and click yes. Then you're going to notice the green arrow next to the FW local turn to red. Right click on the FW local and select configure and enable routing and remote access. The routing and remote access server setup window appears. Now click next. We're going to go through the setup of this. And at step 8, we're going to fill the bubble next to the network address translation NAT and click next. Then select WAN external public interface and click next. Fill in the bubble next to I will set up name and address services later and click next, which is second from on the bottom. Then click finish to close the wizard. This is going to initialize. Now, on step 12, we're going to click the plus icon next to the IPv4 to expand the list and select NAT. This should open up the objects within that menu. So we're going to right click on the WAN external interface and select properties. On step 14, we're going to click on the services and ports tab, which is at the right. Then from the services list, we're going to click on FTP server. We're just clicking on the selection. That'll open up the edit service menu or window. Then we're going to input 192.168.1.100 into the private address space, which is down here at the bottom. And I'm going to put my cursor into that first 0 and type in 192. It's already moved over to the next set of numbers, which I'm going to type in 168. And to the next is 1. Now from here, I'm going to have to move my cursor over to that other 0 and then type in 100. And then click OK. At step 17, we're going to click inside the box next to FTP server to place the check mark. And then we're going to repeat steps 15 to 17 for the following services: SMTP, POP3, Telnet server, and HTTP. I'm going to go ahead and move the content so that I can see the IP address that I'm supposed to enter in, as well as the services that I'm going to make these changes to. Now the first service I'm looking for is the SMTP, and that will be here in this menu list. And as you can see, it's underneath FTP server listed as internal mail server SMTP. I'm going to click on that. It'll open up like the previous FTP server. I'm going to type in 192.168.1.100 in the private IP, in the private address, and click OK. Then put the check mark on the SMTP. Next service I'm going to look for is POP3, and that is below that, listed as Post Office Protocol version 3 POP3. I'm going to click on the the listing, and type in 192.168.1.100 and hit OK. And then put the check mark on Post Office Protocol version 3. The next service I'm going to be searching for is Telnet server, which is down here at the bottom. I'm going to select that, and again type in that same private IP, 192.168.1.100, and hit OK. Select that checkbox. And the last service we're going to change is HTTP. Now here is HTTPS, but we're looking for HTTP, which is down at the bottom listed as web server. We're going to open that up and again type in that IP address of 192.168.1 and 100 and hit OK. Make sure we put the check mark on the web server. Once complete, click Apply, followed by clicking OK button on the WAN External Properties window. So Apply, and then OK. And that concludes our Lesson 1 for configuring the Windows 2008 Firewall. Come back again and we will go over Lesson 2 for setting up the sniffer.